All I see, right, is the citizens of Chicago marching to the gas chamber.
You know, I know we all feel this way so strongly. We love our country. We believe in the promise of America. And that's what this campaign is about. So, of course, I will officially accept your nomination next week once the virtual voting period is closed. But already I'm happy to know that we have enough delegates to secure the nomination. And later this month, we will gather in Chicago, united as one party, where we're going to have an opportunity to celebrate this historic moment together. And the beauty of our democracy is we each, every one of us, has the power to answer that question. And that is why I say and know the power is with the people. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
We're seeing resources fly out to help, but we're not getting that same type of support at the magnitude we're seeing now. And to expect us to foot the bill and hand over our already limited resources, public parks and school buildings that have been unjustly closed in the first place. Brandon Johnson ran on the promise that he would listen to our community. And in the beginning of this crisis stated that he would not re-traumatize those communities that are still suffering from the impact of school closing, red line, and violence.
We have provided education, health care for these families, and we did all of that without having to cut back on services to people.
We are here today demanding that the City of Chicago and Brandon Johnson stop disrupting park programs, taking away from our children and families that depend on those services.
They're frustrated with the lack of transparency from your administration. They say, shelters are opening up in my ward and I don't know they're opening until they're open.
We want him to stop using public school buildings as housing because they're not zoned as such. And specifically for this building was promised to the community, and our children deserve a high school.
And we did all of that without having to cut back on services to people that have been set at the margins for generations.
A high school, we want to reopen this as one because we do not have a neighborhood high school. We want this building. We pay taxes for it.
We have provided education, health care for these families, and we did all of that without having to cut back on services to people.
We are also demanding a full, independent audit of how our tax money is being spent. We need to know how money is being spent on our education system when we now see that Chicago public schools and all city agencies are focusing on migrant children.
Being frustrated that they don't think your administration is hearing them because of the monies that are being spent on the migrant crisis that they're not seeing. It seems like this money just appears out of thin air, but isn't being invested in their own communities.
High school students all around here who have to travel far to go to school. My daughter travels 15 miles outside of her neighborhood to go to school. How dare the city of Chicago try to take this building, make her walk past the building that they're giving to people they're allowed to come here illegally. She is a symbol of majority of black children in the city of Chicago that are being denied rights, that are not being seen in this crisis. We're mad at our government for putting them against us. Brandon Johnson, go on your word. You cannot be elected into this office and ignore the people who got you here.
That's right.
We're not playing with you.
This is an outrageous amount of money, and there needs to be an audit now. There needs to be an audit. I've gotten calls from parents of autistic adults who are now aged out of the school system, and they've ended their program.
We did all of that without having to cut back on services to people.
Somebody is making money off of this. A lot of money. Now, Brandon Johnson and the Democrats are criminals. We're going to sue the Democrats as civilians because they're spent the agents representing the people they voted for. The agents. I'm a sport agent. If I don't have represent my claims, they fire me. It's time to fight. Don't let the Democrats have that stupid convention on their shirt. Enough's enough.
We are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
You don't